Hello Sagittarius, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy bringing you your December 2024 general reading. We're looking at the first half of December, and this reading is for you, the fire sign of Sagittarius. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and watch these videos. It is a joy to create them. So, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. For you, this video. Cross-watchers, if you're cross-watching for a Sagittarian, this video is also relevant and important for you. Of course, it's a general reading, so it might resonate a little differently for everyone who watches. So take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. If you know your other signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, watch those as well for any additional insight or perspective they can bring as well. If you find something really hits home and you want to take a deeper look at it, or you simply really resonate with the reading style, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself as a gift for someone else, we are in the holiday season now, and personal readings do make great gifts. If you're interested, email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video, click on that word more. You'll see that information there as well. I would love to hear from you. I can usually get back to you quickly, same day or within 24 hours. With more information. I do offer a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, different types, lengths, costs, styles, spreads, something in there for everyone. The 6 and 12-month overviews are quite popular towards the end of one year and beginning of the next, as people like to kind of get a look ahead when we're coming to the end of one year and the beginning of another, so something to keep in mind as well. And I am quite diligent and focused on the timely scheduling of personal readings, so if you're interested, email me. I would be delighted. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what the first half of December 2024 looks like for you. Those of you who like to know, I'm using the Royal Deluxe Tarot, clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. Left some cards there. We begin with the Six of Wands. Success, victory, ego, recognition. The Page of Swords, information, messages, learning. We have the Hierophant, tradition, the traditional way, the tried and true path, with death, endings and transformations. It feels like some of you are re-examining yourself. Some of you may be going through a spiritual or existential crisis of some sort, kind of like re-evaluating perhaps if something really is worth it. It may be that you're struggling against some traditions or norms, or maybe trying to resist going down a traditional path. Wanting to do your own thing, wanting to go your own way. But it feels like you may have come to a point where that's being challenged, like you're challenging it within yourself. It's like you're self-examining, you're examining yourself and perhaps your motives or ways that you have been, like what your MO has been for a long time, and asking yourself, is this really worth it? Is it time to maybe change something? Feels a bit similar to your sister sign, Aries. Next, we have the Nine of Wands, which they got too. This speaks of courage and resilience and strength, even when you feel like you don't want to, right? You've been through a lot. You've struggled through a lot with the Six of Coins. But the Six of Coins with the Nine of Wands, Sagittarius, is kind of a sign that in spite of all the challenges, all the perhaps sometimes discouraging times, don't forget, it's important to forget not to overextend yourself, to remember the importance of taking care of yourself and other people as well. Sometimes it's during the time periods of our greatest challenges that if we extend ourselves in a generous or altruistic or volunteering kind of way, we can actually get filled that way ourselves, right? Even when, and especially when, we're in the middle of our own struggles and challenges, the Six of Coins reminds us that sometimes stepping out of ourselves and helping somebody else or doing some kind of volunteer altruistic thing actually takes us out of that and gives us a different perspective, so that when we come back to that, our own challenges and struggles, we have kind of a different perspective. We feel our view isn't quite so narrow. It reminds us to give and nurture the people around us, particularly the ones we care about, and to not overextend ourselves, and to make sure we take care of ourselves and not be afraid to ask for that as well. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy is the Devil card, which can speak of behaviors, patterns, addictions, overblown materialistic desires or impulses that keep us, that we think we need, or we tell ourselves we need, because that's the addiction of the Devil card, right? But in fact, keep us stuck in a cycle of fear and insecurity. But we cling to them nonetheless, right? Geez, it feels like you're going through kind of a deep thing here, Sagittarius. I hope I didn't say Aries. It's very similar. Sagittarius, it feels like some of you are going through a kind of a... I mean, it's a general reading, so the intensity may vary, but at minimum, a reevaluation process here. The Devil card can also represent self-sabotage, right? Our own behaviors, patterns, addictions, the things that we do that actually stand in the way of what we want, or our true joy and happiness. It can be a card of self-sabotage because we're not acknowledging and recognizing our weaknesses and our vices and our fears and insecurities. And if we don't acknowledge them and face them, then we can't begin the work to overcome them. And it keeps us stuck in that, which is a form of self-sabotage, right? And it feels like you're trying to overcome that, but it feels like it's the beginning of the process, meaning the crossroads where you start to go, you know what? Maybe this way of living, or this way of thinking, or this way of doing things isn't working for me anymore. Maybe I need to change something. Maybe I need to change direction. The Star, renewed, restored hope, faith, and optimism. The Chariot, success that comes through perseverance, determination, willpower, focus, and intention. The danger here, I think, the struggle is, Sagittarius, not self-sabotaging what you want most for impulses and desires of the moment. And not only that, but again, I'm just getting this sense of self-sabotage here, of perhaps you have an ideology or behaviors or patterns or something like that has caused you to land in a certain situation yet again, or maybe has hurt yourself or somebody else, or caused some kind of conflict. And you're like, you know what? I have to stop doing this. This is actually working against me. This is a pattern or a habit or a behavior cycle I have. And I must have adopted it. Perhaps you adopted it a long time ago as a way to protect yourself or defend yourself, and perhaps it served that purpose for a long time, but it's no longer serving that purpose now. It's actually working against you. It's just that it's habit for you now, and so you're starting to self-examine, which is all great, right? It can be a very challenging thing, right, to go through this sort of spiritual self-examination crisis sort of thing where you're reevaluating and go, maybe I need to change something here. This isn't working for me anymore. It's costing me, Whatever I think is my victory. 10 of Swords with a 9 of Cups. Isn't that an interesting combination of cards? Seemingly, on its surface, very contradictory, right? The 10 of Swords is a painful or challenging ending that might come suddenly, realizing that something doesn't work anymore. But yet the 9 of Cups is wishes granted, your heart's desire. But clarifying the 6 of Wands, which is victory and recognition and ego, But learning and examining and getting a different perspective of the Page of Swords, here you're asking yourself, is it worth it? Or is the cost actually going to end up being too high? Because the Nine of Cups is a more visceral, decadent sort of wishes granted. It's a little different than the next card, the Ten of Cups, which ties that all in together in a complete, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually satisfying and fulfilling and abundant way as well. Here in the Nine of Cups, it's more about like having more than enough to eat, more than enough to drink, having your whims and our impulses and desires satisfied. But the Ten of Swords and all of this clarifying that Six of Wands begs the question, is what I thought I wanted actually really what I want? Or is it actually standing in the way of what I want? And is the cost of maintaining this pattern, this cycle, too high? Let's take a look at that Hierophant and Death. It's kind of similar to Aries reading. Kind of deep and a bit cloudy. The Fool and the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is kind of that epiphany, a sudden realization, seeing something in the stark reality of what it is, and maybe that it's time to change, to do something new, step out into the unknown, take a chance, take a risk, get out of your comfort zone, in order to start a whole new cycle of something. Potentially a time of great change. It feels like you're at a super important crossroads. And I'm not sure what this is about. This could be about financial and material stuff. It could be about, relationship dynamics or ideologies. It is a general reading. The area of life it might address for you and for you and for you might each be different, but the fundamental theme and energy remains the same. You're at a crossroads. You've been doing things a certain way. You've been doing a certain thing a certain way for a certain period of time, and it's always worked for you, but all of a sudden now it feels like it isn't anymore, that it might be drawing to a close and trying to hang on to it. I mean, the cost might just be too high. In business and work and money, or in relationship, home, and family life here as well. And that's stepping out into the unknown and taking a chance and taking a risk, because you've seen this is going to put you on a different path. Nine of Wands, Six of Coins. Don't be afraid to give and to ask to be given to in return. The Six of Coins clarified by the Six of Pentacles, which is the same card, of course. Giving and receiving, being more open to giving more and receiving more. Do you give more than you ask for and get in return? Do you take more than you give in return? The Hierophant, again, that traditional norm path. Don't be afraid to rely on the tried and true. Don't be afraid to give to that and to be given back in return. Temperance, that's where you're going to find your balance. It feels like Spirit is also advising you here, Sagittarius, not to be the lone wolf. It may have worked for you for a while in the past, or for maybe quite a long time, being the lone cowboy that rides off into the sunset in a sort of melancholy but romantic sort of way, or female if you're female, But I think the time for that is done here. That's kind of what I'm getting. It's an interesting message to be getting, but that's what I'm getting. Okay. Any final guidance, advice, feedback from Spirit? Judgment, major crossroads. You're being called to account for yourself, and what you choose to do at this crossroads could change completely the outcome of something that maybe would not have been so great if you had not, right? Judgment is kind of like that point in the courtroom drama where the defendant gets up on the stand to defend himself, right? And what they choose to say or do in that moment can change the outcome of the whole trial, right? Or it can mitigate the effects of it, right? But it all depends on what you do. It's often a card that represents a second chance for yourself. Take this path. This is a second chance. It probably won't come back around again. The Magician, the Emperor, and the High Priestess. This says that Spirit, this is kind of Spirit saying, look, underneath the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, the self-sabotage cycles, you know what to do here. So stand up, take charge, be the Emperor, be the Magician, and do it and manifest it. That's actually your path to joy, stability, and again, not being the lone wolf or the lone cowboy or cowgirl here. I think it's time to walk a little bit of a different path. I'm going to leave it there. Different kind of message. I'm going to leave it there. Sagittarius, those are your messages for the first half of December 2024. For those of you for whom they hit home and resonated, I hope it was helpful, clarifying, or at least gave you some food for thought, something to chew on. If it did resonate with you and you'd like to pull the curtain back, take a deeper look, you simply like the reading style, if you are interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com, or click the description, click that word more to also see that contact information. You'll also find my PayPal Me link there as well for any of you who care to donate or contribute in support of my channel. Always appreciated. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the next set of readings. Until then, stay safe, stay well. Hope to see you back here again soon, and I hope to hear from some of you as well. Take care. Bye-bye.